Hey nerds, welcome to JerBear Reacts. Today we are going to watch, we're going to react to Stranger Things Season 4, Becoming Vecna, behind the scenes look, posted by the Stranger Things Netflix. This has 4.5 million views, posted back in July of this year. The runtime is 8 minutes and 44 seconds. If you guys want to watch that uninterrupted, a link will be in the description box down below, as well as a link for the Patreon, the Twitch stream, and everything in between. And Jerry will do his best work behind the scenes. And let's get into it, bro. I just want to hop right into it and watch this. I really enjoy. Fred, that was his name. I was trying to think of it a minute ago. I said Robert.
That is horrifying.
I think the best thing that they do is their practical builds.
Are we ready?
Hey, good for him. He doesn't give off as creepy as a vibe as the actual in-person.
Got the audition through for the show.
That's like 12 hours worth of makeup, bro. There's no shot.
Of sides. One was from Primal Fear, and the other set of sides was from Hellraiser. And
I was gonna read that, but I'm not.
Like second week of January, they're like, "Oh, Matt and Ross want to meet you," and I was like, "Oh my god, amazing!" I didn't speak like throughout the whole meeting, which is quite unusual for me because I can be quite a chatterbox.
We've been talking about it since season
the
1.
Duffy Brothers.
A villain that could actually speak to our characters, that could sort of vocalize their motives and their thoughts.
I feel like that's very much needed.
It is time.
They just told me about the character, and they kept on saying, "Oh, we love your voice, we love your voice." And I was thinking, what do you mean you love my voice? Like, this is just how I talk. And then at the end, they showed
I say the same thing when people say that to me. Like, it's just how I speak. I don't know.
Side of Henry as or Vecna, and I just like my mouth fell to the floor, and I remember
it's really
leaving
nice.
the house and just like being like, that was so cool. That was so awesome. From what I knew of the character at that point, I'd already felt so invested.
That's such a good practical set.
Like, hey, you got it. I was like, oh my god, there was like a sigh of relief. It was like tears. It was a big deal. And then from there on in, I was put into the room with Barry Gower, and Barry and Duncan were designing Vecna.
My name is Barry Gower, and I'm the prosthetics designer for Stranger Things Season 4. Vecna, it's a really fascinating character.
That's so cool, getting to make prosthetics for Freddy Krueger.
We are basically integrating lots of shapes and textures and forms from the upside down, so there's a lot of kind of roots and vine, and we still have panels of flesh which are very pale, almost anemic looking, and the idea really is that the exposed flesh that is pale is human skin that hasn't seen sunlight for the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when I first saw it, was that was part of his actual skin and those pale parts.
We want all the appliances, rather than having a rubber monster suit, we were designing it as a kind of a jigsaw puzzle, which gives us a lot more fluid sort of movements. We don't have much buckling, and it's like we have a really skin tight sort of look.
Well, I'm in love. The first
That's
thing
so fucking
that
sick.
I started to think about was the physicality of this person. I knew that we were going to have these.
Oh, I love the way they had those fingers working.
Fingers, and just move my fingers around really slow. I'm moving them fast now because I'm excited, but move my fingers around very slowly. But then imagine them kind of being out here like this.
Matt and Ross were very clear that they wanted this large, distorted hand. When we started exploring the character and looking at the design of it, we were quite confident that we could do something practical.
Reminds me of old boy from American Horror Story.
Extensions to extend.
That is sick. That's what I was kind of thinking that he was using. That's dope.
There are aluminium jointed finger extensions, and then it's a foam latex skin.
It's always a tear between where you're at in the world. Aluminium. Aluminium is one of the wildest words to me. And it's probably the opposite for people when they hear aluminum. But when I hear aluminium, I always think it's like some mythological fucking being, like some sort of deity. I'm like, oh, you just mean aluminum. I got you.
Side, which gives quite a nice, smooth, organic sort of feel. As a practical effects department, we tend to work very closely with digital effects. A lot of the best effects achieved now in TV and film are a combination of the two. In the long run, I think once we get through to the finished product, there will be a combination of practical and digital elements.
Mary's going to cry. Joy.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
My biggest thing would be is like if it was working around my mouth, like would I be able to have full range of motion?
There he goes.
I didn't know how long this took.
Vecna is, chilling. Vecna understands us on a human level, and he understands us in our vulnerabilities and knows how to capitalize upon those to achieve exactly what he needs, and he will stop at nothing.
Huh? Just loosening this up for you, sweetheart. You're going to look absolutely beautiful.
Vecna essentially is targeting people who are experiencing some kind of grief, or there's, some troubles that are happening in their life, so they're emotionally vulnerable and
Fuck you,
fragile.
Billy.
I mean, it's the first time we've seen a threat that's so human, because you've had the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, but nothing quite like Vecna.
This is really the first time since season 1 that we're going back to the world of prosthetics.
Oh, just drilling into your mouth.
Having someone in a suit performing on the stage.
Selfishly, as an actor, it's so incredibly helpful because it's something real to look at.
I don't think it's
especially
selfish.
Just his demeanor on set and his
Yeah.
performance and the amount of himself that he would bring after being in makeup for, I think, 8 hours every day.
8
2
hours.
to maybe take it off.
Oof.
That's like a full work day for somebody.
Being face
2
to face
hours
with
to take that off.
what is all
Jesus.
practical effects, and that was all completely him. You feel so in the moment, which is, I felt like that was such a luxury. Put at ease to know that, like, I would actually have something to play off of, and someone as amazing as Jamie, who's just so talented.
Your time is almost at an end.
Let go!
I would feel like I would have so much fun playing a
The
villain.
first time I saw Vecna, it was really
I had no idea who the
surreal
fuck that was
because
for a
I was
second.
going into a rehearsal right after lunch, and I'm very bubbly after, and you're in your food coma.
Why does she
And
kinda
I walked on
show her
and I
again?
saw him, and he snapped his neck and looked at me.
And I'm there and I'm like fully in it, like staring at people, grunting,
Yeah.
growling,
Oh, I would have been.
pacing.
And I looked at him, and I was like, "What is?"
When they first showed her, bro, they looked just like Elena from the Vampire Diaries for a split second. I was like, bro, why is she here?
That I didn't know. Like, I thought this was gonna be CGI. Like, I didn't know.
She, bless her, she burst into tears.
The whole rehearsal, I was crying.
And she was like, that's not Jamie. And I'm crazy, so I was like talking to her inside my mind. I was like, no, Jamie's dead. Like, it's just Vecna.
It is over, 11. Your friends have lost.
Jamie had to give me a hug because I couldn't do the scene.
Did he hug you in the
fear
suit?
was genuine, definitely. Very
Did he hug you in the
real.
suit?
I didn't have
'Cause that
to
makes it so
act.
much better.
I was terrified.
That'd be so much better.
Vecna is not some sort of sea creature from the deep. This character is not chaos. This character is very sure and certain and attentive to everything that he's doing.
I saw a means to realize my potential. To become the predator I was always born to be.
He felt like he was lied to, as well as kind of ostracized from his family, isolated, alone. Combine all these things
Dude,
together
him
with
being
the
that little
rage
kid
he
makes so
feels,
much sense,
all
like
of
in
a sudden it's a
hindsight.
catalyst for
I'm so mad I didn't
events.
figure that part out.
Everything.
When somebody is filled with so much rage and so much resentment, and he's been alone in that for a number of years, the human element's gone.
Yeah.
He's now out for blood. He's now
Yeah,
out for
the human
vengeance.
element's 100%
Maybe we'll
gone,
save
but he
that
still has the
story for
human
another day.
tendencies.
It doesn't have a happy ending, I'm afraid. That's it.
Yeah, bro, we knew who you were the second they did
I
that
always
shit.
feel like these things are like a school test. Did I pass?
He's such a wholesome boy, but he played that character so creepily. It was kind of easy to tell who it was as soon as he came on screen, because it's like that guy's presence is so fucking weird and it's so creepy. And then you're like, oh, he's talking about one, but it was so long ago, and he doesn't want to tell the story. He knows about this person. He knows it too well. That's probably number one. It's like, oh, one would make perfect sense to end up being Vecna, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't replicate, or Brenner had to like basically make these other kids. He had to abduct them to replicate his powers since he couldn't control one. Yada yada. As soon as she removed that bead from his neck, bro, it was just wild. But 8 hours of makeup is fucking insane. And I think that's super dope, just to see everything being, a lot of stuff being practical. And I think practical effects are a lot better than the VFX, than the CGI, because it gives the actors, like they said, something to go off of. And you can only do so much VFX. You can only do so much CGI. And sometimes it doesn't look as great. Sometimes watching people get their arms snapped up and their jaw slacked, it doesn't look as good as it could, but there is a budget. And sometimes She-Hulk doesn't look as great as she should. That's neither here nor there. But it's I'd rather just have practical stuff, because it's more realistic, not only to the actors, but to the audience. You have something more to connect with. You can tell that that set looks realistic, rather than, oh, that's a computer part moving. Like, no, that's a real dude, real makeup, and it looks great. And I think our final showdown with Vecna and 11 will be pretty great in season 5. And I still think that the whole team should come together to fight him. And I think people should die, and I think it should be epic. And I can't wait to see how it plays out. I can't see what goes down. I would love to play a villain. I think you put me in a suit. I think I have the stature, and I think I have the build to be intimidating. And even though if you meet me, I'm just like not intimidating, but people tell me until they talk to me, they think I'm intimidating, which I don't agree with. But like, I think I could have that presence. If I was on set in that gear, I'm staring at people. Like, I am 100% in character, glaring and nodding and making movements. And I'm just going to talk to people very ruthlessly. I think it'd be great. I'd have a blast with it. Anyways, 8 hours of makeup is nutty. 2 hours to take it off. 10 hours. That's not even counting your acting parts. Jesus. On that note, I'm out. Links and everything will be in the description box down below. Playlist will be up on screen. As always, stay cute, stay hydrated, and I will catch you on the next one.